Hello everyone, it's me again, Femory Petil. In today's video, I will tackle Unit 3.3, which is the cognitive processes. Module 16, the revised Bloom's Taxonomy of educational objectives. Let's get ready. What do you think Bloom's taxonomy is? None of you knows it? Then okay, let's find out. Module 16, the revised Bloom's Taxonomy of educational objectives. Who is Benjamin Bloom? Benjamin Bloom is an American educational psychologist at the University of Chicago, who developed a classification of learning levels now known as Bloom's Taxonomy with his colleagues. Benjamin Bloom made a significant contributions to the classification of educational objectives and the theory of mastery learning. He was interested in improving student learning. What is Bloom's taxonomy? Bloom's taxonomy is a classification system used to define and distinguish different levels of human cognition. Example given: thinking, learning, and understanding. Educators have typically used Bloom's taxonomy to inform or guide the development of assessments, just like tests and other evaluations of student learning, curriculum, units lesson, projects, and other learning activities, and instructional methods such as questioning strategies. Teachers use this taxonomy to plan lessons. In 1956, Benjamin Bloom, together with his collaborators and colleagues, published a framework for categorizing educational goals. The Taxonomy of Educational Objectives. The Bloom's taxonomy is the framework has been applied by generations of K-12 teachers and college instructors in their teaching. Educators often use Bloom's taxonomy. Why? Because just to create learning outcomes that target not only subject matter but also the depth of learning they want students to achieve. In other words, Bloom's taxonomy is a hierarchical ordering of cognitive skills that can, among countless and other applications, help teachers teach and the pupils will learn. The original taxonomy. Bloom's taxonomy was originally published in 1956 by a team of cognitive psychologists at the University of Chicago. It is named after the committee's chairman, Benjamin Bloom, 1913 to 1999. The original taxonomy was organized into 3 domains: cognitive, affective, and the psychomotor. Cognitive domain concerned with thinking and intellect, while affective domain concerned with feeling and emotion, and the psychomotor domain concerned with skill behavior. Framework elaborated by Bloom and his collaborators consisted of 6 major categories. Educators have primarily focus on the cognitive model, which includes 6 different classification levels. Number 1, which is the knowledge. Number 2, comprehension. 3, application. 4, analysis. 5, synthesis. And number 6, evaluation. Just like what I said earlier, the Bloom's taxonomy was published in 1956 together with Benjamin's colleagues, and it is named after Benjamin Bloom. It is organized into 3 domains, which is the cognitive, affective, and the psychomotor. The cognitive domain aims to develop the mental skills. Example, a child recites an English alphabet. So that is a cognitive domain. Affective domain involves our feelings, emotions, and attitudes. Examples are to comply with, to follow, to commend, to volunteer, to spend leisure time in, to acclaim. While the psychomotor domain includes the physical movement and the motor skills. Did you know that the first three elements, knowledge, comprehension, and application, represent lower levels of cognition and learning, while analysis, synthesis, and evaluation are considered higher order skills? And now let's talk about the original taxonomy on 1956. The six major categories of the original taxonomy. Number 1, knowledge. It involves the recall of specifics and universals, the recall of methods and processes, or the recall of a pattern, structure, or setting. For example, name 3 common types of meat. In simple words, knowledge is the ability of learners to recall data and information. Number 2, comprehension refers to a type of understanding or apprehension such that the individual knows what is being communicated and can make use of the material or idea being communicated without necessarily relating to its other material or seeing its fullest implications. For example, summarize the defining characteristics of steak, pork, and chicken. In other words, comprehension assesses the ability of the learner to understand the meaning of what is known. Number 3, application refers to the use of abstractions in particular and concrete. For example, does eating meat help improve longevity? Application refers to the ability to use learned material in new and concrete situations. This may include the application of such things as rules, methods, concepts, principles, laws, and theories. Learning outcomes in this area require a higher level of understanding than those under comprehension. Number 4, analysis represents the breakdown of communication into its constituent elements or parts such that the relative hierarchy of ideas is made clear and or the relations between ideas expressed are made explicit. For example, compare and contrast the different types of meat. Analysis means to break down materials into its component part. Number 5, synthesis involves the putting together of elements and parts so as to form a whole. Example, convert an unhealthy recipe for meat into a healthier recipe by replacing certain ingredients. Argue for the health benefits of using the ingredients you can choose as opposed to the original ones. Synthesis, in other words, refers to combining and putting together of ideas to form something new. Number 6, evaluation. Judgments about the value of material and methods for given purposes. For example, which kinds of meat are best for making a healthy meal and why? In simple words, evaluation is making a judgment about the value of ideas. For you to be able to understand the 6 major categories of the cognitive domain, here are some example activities. Number 1, for knowledge, to know or to recall. The example activities are question and answer sessions, workbooks, and worksheets. Number 2, comprehension, explaining and understanding. Example activities are restate the reasons for weather changes. Summarize the story. Number 3, application or using ideas. Example activities are simulation activities, role-playing or role reversal, and conducting experiments. Number 4, analysis or breaking down. Example activities are comparing and contrasting, recognizing logical fallacies in reasoning, distinguishing between facts and inferences. Number 5, synthesis or forming a new whole. Example activities are writing a creative story, poem, or song, proposing a plan for an experiment, integrating the learning from different areas into a plan for solving a problem. Number 6, evaluation or judging. Example activities are accepting or rejecting ideas based on standards, judging the logical consistency of written material, and evaluating one's own products and ideas. And here are some action words or verbs from the 6 major categories of cognitive domain. For the number 1, which is the knowledge, remember previously learned information. The verbs are arrange, define, describe, duplicate, identify, label, list, match, memorize, name, order, outline, recognize, relate, recall, repeat, reproduce, and select. For the number 2, comprehension, demonstrate an understanding of the facts. Verbs are classify, convert, defend, describe, discuss, distinguish, estimate, explain, express, extend, generalize, give examples, identify, indicate, infer, locate, paraphrase, predict, rewrite, review, select, summarize, and translate. Number 3, application. Apply knowledge to actual situations. The verbs are apply, change, choose, compute, demonstrate, discover, dramatize, employ, illustrate, interpret, manipulate, modify, operate, practice, predict, prepare, produce, relate, show, sketch, solve, use, and write. Number 4, analysis. Break down objects or ideas into simpler parts and find evidence to support generalizations. The verbs are analyze, appraise, break down, calculate, categorize, compare, contrast, criticize, diagram, differentiate, discriminate, distinguish, examine, experiment, identify, illustrate, infer, model, point out, questions, relate, select, separate, subdivide, and test. Number 5, synthesis. Compile component ideas into a new whole or propose alternative solutions. The verbs are arrange, assemble, compose, construct, create, design, develop, categorize, collect, combine, comply, devise, explain, formulate, generate, plan, prepare, rearrange, relate, reorganize, revise, rewrite, set up, summarize, synthesize, tell, and write. For the number 6, evaluation. Make and defend judgment based on internal evidence or external criteria. The verbs are appraise, argue, assess, attach, choose, compare, conclude, contrast, defend, describe, discriminate, estimate, evaluate, explain, judge, justify, interpret, relate, rate, select, summarize, support, and value.